Hey everybody, Nate here. Quick announcement before the show proper gets started. We are running a giant giveaway courtesy of Shokunin. So I wanted to make the real quick announcement before everything got started because the deadline is this coming Wednesday, July the 27th. So Born to be Wild, massive, mega, super, ultra, everything on day one bundle giveaway. Shokunin, the patron saint of Wild, has provided us with $400 of BattleNet balance to give away to one lucky winner. Whoever gets the most correct answers of our quiz here is the winner of the Mega Bundle, the Standard Bundle, and whatever remains of the $400 BattleNet balance. The goal is for the winner to be able to purchase the entire Murder at Castle Nathria set on day one. If possible, Shokunin would like to see the winner stream their massive pack opening. We would be happy to help facilitate this via Discord, screen share if needed. Again, the deadline is this coming Wednesday, July the 27th by midnight Pacific. To take the quiz, join our Discord and look in the announcements channel. So the easiest way to find that is go to our website, borntobewildhs.com. Scroll down to the bottom. There's links to all of our different social medias. Discord is one of them. If you join the Discord, again, go to the announcements channel. There's a link to this quiz here. It's just a Google Forms quiz. Submit this, and whoever gets the most right answers will win. Massive bundle courtesy of Shokunin. If you are somebody who's been listening to the show for a while, a lot of these questions and answers are kind of inside jokes that you may know. So please participate. Thank you again to Shokunin for the awesome giveaway. Good luck, everybody. Hey, wait a minute. That's not what I meant to hit.
Wild.
You got to leave that in now.
Sure. All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to episode 116 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on a beautiful summer Friday evening, joining you tonight from Portland, Oregon, joined by two of my favorite people. Hydra List, welcome back. Long time no see.
Long time no see. Feels like we said this recently.
Just
last time we
yesterday,
did something on a Thursday. Yeah. But I'm doing great. Still riding on a high from yesterday. We had an absolute blast, and I'm so stoked to be here with you guys to talk about it.
Thank you. And welcome back from the land of the dead, Electric Sheep City. It's great to see you.
Golly Bob, howdy. I am undead. Yeah, great to be back. It was a blast doing the theory crafting stuff with the group yesterday, and of course, finally being recovered from the Rona. Hit Legend and Standard over the past week. D1 and Wild. No longer have the plague. Got the theory crafting. Everything's coming up. Sheep House.
Hey-o.
Yes.
That's excellent.
Yeah, but
and I will say, for those of you who missed the Theorycraft event yesterday, it's always kind of weird doing it on a Thursday, but it was an incredible honor to be invited back. And I was very happy, number one, to have Blue Train join us, a great friend of ours, and pretty much carried our deck building there. And also, though, I didn't think that Sheep was going to be able to join us because, number one, Sheep was like currently dealing with like the death virus, and number two, like, you had a work thing going on, and it was like the double whammy. And as it turned out, like, I don't know, at a couple hours into it or whatever, it was like, hey, here you are. So it was, we got the best of both worlds, and that was an absolute blast. So we had just a phenomenal time, and I do want to, like, work and life and everything have been very busy for all of us. I wanted to have a big thank you to Blue Train, who I think was kind of the MVP for assembling a bunch of decks for us to play. It was extremely beneficial for us. Last time when we participated in the Sunken City Theorycraft event, we threw some stuff together ourselves, but we also used a bunch of listener decks or viewer decks that were submitted in the Discord, and it was cool, but it just wasn't the same, where these ones were really like well thought out and planned and ready to go. The idea was to have one for each class, and that really helped, and we kind of talked through it ahead of time. It worked really well. Sometimes is it a little bit sad to not be able to play the viewer decks? Like, yes, but at the same time, we got to experiment and play with the cards that we really wanted to and feature the decks that we really wanted to. And so selfishly, it was really good. And
Yeah,
so
the time really flies by super quick too. And so even whenever last go around when we wanted to feature more people's decks and we couldn't, and then we felt really bad about
Yeah.
which decks we couldn't feature, even though we wanted to do more. And it's just like the best way is to, unfortunately, kind of do more curated by ourselves. Courtesy of Blue Train. Again, thank you very much.
right. Well, and also big shout out to, I know like NHL and 6J
Yes.
and a few other people kind of helped with that. And so,
Absolutely.
big shout out to our friends over there. And so, yeah, thank you all. Very, very good time that we all had. And yeah, so thank you, Blue Train. Very much appreciated. All right, well, let's before we get into all of that. Oh, by the way, hey Sheep, before we were talking about our weeks, what are you playing? You said you were Diamond 1 in Wild?
Yeah, so we were playing we'll get into the deck itself later in the proper show topic, but we were playing a Hadronox Druid that was really fun and really good. And it kind of I hadn't played Cthulhu Druid yet. And I know, I play a lot of aggro druid and different, beast druid, different things like that are, more aggressive in the druid kind of archetype. But I haven't really been played Cthulhu Druid like at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of slower, more methodical, just like progression towards the end that we got with our Hadronox Druid, I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually just learn Cthulhu Druid. And starting yesterday, like after our theory crafting event, like I took a nap and then I woke up, played a few games, went from D5 to D3. Then before work, I went from D3 to D2. Then after work, but before the podcast, I went from D2 to D1. Actually lost a final boss like right before the podcast too.
Oh man.
So like it's good right now. What can I say?
Wait, did we all take a nap after the stream yesterday?
That's fun.
I think we did.
You know what? Like,
That's hilarious.
It's super fun, but like we're not used to necessarily being on for like that duration of time, and because it's a spotlighted like featured thing, you really have to be there for it. Where, like, I don't know, when we're doing our own thing, it can be very casual. I will say I didn't go to sleep per se, but I went down and like kind of crashed on the recliner and did other stuff. And you know what? I didn't realize until later. So I'm sitting here looking at our like friends Discord, and there's like 20 people in it all playing Hearthstone. And I was like, wait a minute, we had to stop at 3. So as it turned out, like I found out later that we had permission to like play with the cards basically all night long. Just we couldn't stream it past our 3:00 deadline. But we could play. But by that time, like I think we were so zonked.
Yeah.
Blue Tray did for another 4 hours. You were like, oh my gosh,
Machine.
wow, the machine. Have you seen
Blue
that?
Train must dream of me.
That's great. By the way, have you seen the machine, the stand up routine? Okay, all right. After the show, we got to watch it. After the show.
Oh yes, but I'm
Look
drawing
up
a blank. Like I recognize
Bert Kirschner or whatever, the machine. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen it, it's the funniest thing. I'll play it when we're done because you got to see it. Hydra, if you haven't seen it,
I do not believe I have. It's not ringing a bell at all.
You're gonna die of laughter. I apologize.
I look forward to it.
It's great. All right. So yeah, Theorycraft.
Oh. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. Let me briefly explain how the show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/BornToBeWildHS, and the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all the podcast apps. So however you're watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
I love it. Yeah, and before we get started into the main topic of the show, I wanted to say a very important thank you to Shokunin, who is the executive producer of our show, sponsoring a massive giveaway that is underway. But also to the other patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us, and it helps keep the lights running. I say that a little bit facetiously, but it really does, with help fund things like giveaways, the website, which costs money, and helps us, get new artwork for designs and emotes and all that stuff. And so it really is very much appreciated. So thank you. Yeah. And actually, for those of you watching the video version or here with us live on Twitch, take a look at Sheep's t-shirt because it's quite lovely. Yeah, it's one of the new ones.
Where's your face?
Oh,
Looks great on blue. Wow.
Right?
Oh, you got me.
Yeah. Okay. So check this out. We do have some new merch that is available. If you go to our website, that's a great dance too.
Is that what you would do if you were literally on the runway, Sheep?
Or
as a model?
Not at all. I was trying to make Nas dance
Oh,
by me dancing.
it's like that's, or like at the club, like.
This is how
Not
Sheep
at all.
dances at the club? Wait, we got a party, Sheep.
You know it.
This is Night at the Roxbury right here. Yeah, so if you go to our website, borntobewildhs.com, there's a link for merch. We've got a bunch of different designs. So the artist that we work with, Christina, is phenomenal. We'll have to probably work on something for this new set as well. But we've got a bunch of stuff up there, and it's really cool. How did you like the quality, by the way? I shouldn't be asking you this live on the air, but I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. So my skin's really just sensitive, so I have to wash stuff before I put it on, period. So typically, if something shrinks or whatnot, I'll know before I actually put it on because that's how it'll be whenever I put it on for the first time. And everything fits exactly like I would want it to. It's pretty good.
And no, it's good. I mean, we looked at a bunch of different companies, and either the quality of the shirts were bad or the printing was bad. Like you'd get the printing on the shirt, and it looked like, I don't know, just bad quality. And so I was pretty happy with how these turned out, and the price is pretty good. Like $20 a shirt, that's pretty good. Anyways, the link is on our website if anybody's interested. We just try to make them accessible. We don't barely make anything off of them, but they're really cool. So that's the fun part. Anyways, if you're interested in supporting us, that helps. We also have a bunch of emotes that you can unlock. There's a whole bunch that are for free that you can get just from following the show. There's also ones that you can get for subscribing that are pretty kickin' rad. The pirate one, the sunglasses deal with it one. These are fun. So anyways, they're all there. You can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. By the way, there's a new, I just got an email today from Amazon or Hearthstone or both. But anyways, there's another
Prime Gaming.
Yeah, with Prime Gaming, you can get a free legendary. Yeah, and so I know they have stuff each month for Amazon Prime. There was one right now where you could get, it was like the Battleground skins plus a legendary. And then there's another one for August, and I don't know what this current one is, but free stuff, right? So if you have Amazon Prime, not to plug our show, but log into Prime Gaming and you get free Hearthstone stuff. So it's worth checking it out anyhow. Oh, look, there's even a link in chat. You were the MVP over here. Trying to think.
Makes the dream work.
That's right. Lastly, if you're interested in supporting the show financially and not wanting to buy something, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. There's a link to it off of our website. And if you're interested in interacting with any of us personally, you can join our Discord. It's absolutely free. It's just an online community where we interact with people. We've got a bunch of channels with deck lists and memes and funny usernames, which are really funny and very inappropriate most of the time, but very funny. And just a bunch of stuff. It's great. It's very wholesome, and we have a good time. So links to all of that stuff, again, on our website, borntobewildhs.com. All right. That is everything I have to say. Show's over. Time to go home.
Has been kept. And now, on to this week's special topic.
Yeah.
Murder at Castle Nathria Theory Crafting event recap.
Let's go. So we were so excited. We started talking about it before we were getting through the preliminaries, but like, my goodness, what a good time. Hey, by the way, before we do, did either of you, I've been at work since 8 o'clock this morning. I did not see it, but today is July the 22nd, Friday. They did a live like reenactment of the script of the murder thing with a bunch of content creators. I didn't watch it because I was at work, but hopefully it'll be on YouTube later. It was cool. Yeah. They had a bunch of different people playing different roles. There was from the Wild community, Engine was part of it, which was pretty cool. So I'll take a look real quick here. I really, really hope that they put it up on YouTube. I have to imagine that they will, because like, why wouldn't they? But here, let me put it up on the screen. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, and the VOD is available, I guess.
Yeah, buddy.
That sounds super cool, though.
Yeah, no, it does. And why? Oh. JPEG. Everything, like, it wants to save in weird formats. What is the JFIF? Come on. Don't want that. All right. Apologies. Technical difficulties. Technology.
All
right.
For constructing me.
All right, here it is. So, Kriparian is Sire Denathrius, Pathra as Lady Vash, Celestalon as Erelon, Cora as Cecily, Eduquesa as Pelagos, Engine as Steward, Lorinda as Kel'Thuzad, Miss Bauer, I don't know who that is, as Olgra, Odemian as Zymox, Britigus as Draka, Zoom as Rafam, and there was a mystery guest that was the narrator.
Who could that be?
I don't remember who it turned out to be.
Ben Brode.
That would have been. He would have just laughed. That would have been so funny.
That would have been great.
I saw it at one point and I forgot. It's been a very busy week for me. Anyways, whatever. Go watch the Twitch VOD or watch the, hopefully it's up on YouTube. But, good times. It looked really fun. So we had been talking about the idea of doing that sort of thing on our own, and ended up not, because our buddies over at Blizzlet like already did it. and so like it seems really cool. Like, I really loved the idea of doing it. It was like, we were talking about it for a couple days and then it had already been done. And then Hearthstone went and did it themselves. And so it's like, all right. I'm not going to try to like reinvent the wheel there, unfortunately.
The main Hearthstone account just ripping off Blizzlet. SMH.
Right? Shame. Anyways, so yesterday was Thursday, July the 21st. There was the Murder at Castle Nathria Theorycraft event streams with a bunch of content creators, of which we were fortunate to be invited back. And it was an absolute blast. It was very cool. The only thing that was very interesting was to be able to see behind the scenes a little bit. So one of the instructions that we got was that, hey, there's some new, it's all been spoiled already, so it doesn't even matter, right? But the instructions that we received were, hey, there's new portraits, there's new card backs, there's some new stuff. Like, do not share this stuff. You can look at it, but don't share it. We want to share it in the patch notes, which are coming out soon. And so we look through it and it's like, oh, this is cool, but like, we're not able to show it on stream. And then we kept facing off against people using the new portraits and stuff. I was like, come on. But like, every time I see
the good boys, right? We're the good boys.
So there's a couple of rules. One is like, okay, what you can share and what you can't. One of the things is like, hey, don't click on solo modes because there's a bug and it will break the game. Do not do this. I don't know if that's true or not because I didn't click on it.
Yeah,
it may just
I feel
be
like that's a deterrent. Don't click on it. It'll break the game. But there's something probably really cool in there that they don't want us to see.
Tournament mode.
We both went there.
Tournament mode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. And you know what would be funny? You press the button and it breaks the game, and then they're like, yeah, sorry. I mean, you shouldn't have pressed the button. I did not want to find out. I did not want to find out. The cool thing that we did get to see, the random hero portrait was working, and so we used it, and it was really cool. Except what happens in it is like, it's just like the card backs, right? So you can either go in and select your favorites, or you can just say, pick a random one. Mm-hmm. And so I went in and I selected all of them except the brand new ones so that it wouldn't accidentally show one, so that we wouldn't get in trouble. And what would happen then is every time that you go back to the collection manager to select which deck you want to use, the portrait that's displayed like up in that little rectangle where the deck name is would change. And it threw me off so bad because I was looking for the one, and it would, every time you refresh, like it would change to a different one.
What deck is this?
It was driving me crazy. The feature is really cool. Like, I liked seeing the different skins, and that was really neat though. And so I'm happy.
You got what you asked for, Nate Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. Hooray.
Hooray!
Hooray!
So I'm happy about that. It was really cool. We saw a bunch of the different skins. The new ones have some animations, which I don't love, because there's a few of them that just looked like they took the character and like stretched it out and then compressed it and then stretched like it's supposed to be breathing, but it looks really awkward on
That's
a couple
how I
of
breathe.
them. You get taller. It was like
Like, I'm 6 foot, I swear, but only when I inhale.
It was so fun. I felt bad for Blue Train because he's like, now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. Especially the Paladin one, like it just stretches out, like the character gets like a foot taller. It's so funny. The artwork is really cool though, which I really am liking. So some cool new stuff coming. I imagine we get this stuff really soon. We did get to see the 2 new diamond portraits, and so diamond Olgra, I think, was one, and the other was the Murloc Holmes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They really stepped up like the animation, especially on like the Murloc Holmes. Like,
yeah.
looks around with the whole magnifying glass, and even when it's static, the magnifying glass like actually magnifies. Like, it's just crazy. They clearly put a lot of time and energy into those, and so I was very impressed. There's a few new card backs which look really cool. I'm sure you'll see them soon. Yeah. So we played yesterday for 6 hours with new cards. The one other thing that I want to note, I think that was different than last time. Well, one thing that was the same, right? So the entire card set was revealed on Wednesday, the 20th of July. And then we got to play it the day after, the 21st. And so only one day to be able to look at the entire set and build decks, which is pretty short. I understand why they do that. That's fine. The thing that's different is that now we've got basically 2 weeks until the set comes out.
It's a long time.
Right? Which, after playing with the cards, it's like, I think it was Pigpen in Discord that mentioned it earlier. It was like, after seeing all the new cards, like, I want to play the new cards. I don't want to play the old cards for 2 weeks.
Let me in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that, remember, I'm gonna date myself here, but those old, was it like JCPenney commercials or whatever? It's like open.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You remember? You're old too. Somebody in chat knows, I'm sure. But yeah, I think last time it was like a week before, and so it was like, okay, well, it's almost the weekend, and then it's almost Tuesday. Like it's bearable, but 2 weeks feels like a long time. So. It was JCPenney or Sears. I don't remember. It was one of those. It was some department store. Anyways, it's like, well, what do we do with ourselves for the next 2 weeks? That being said, the thing that we are doing differently than we did last time is that we recorded a whole bunch of video of these new decks. And we will have a bunch of content that we don't normally do for the next couple of weeks as you're waiting for the new stuff to come out. And so we piloted a bunch of these different decks. We probably played 3, 4, 5 games per deck. Have some crazy highlight reel. Only one of them is out right now. I try to I pushed it out late yesterday, and so it's on YouTube. It's kind of funny because it has more views already than a lot of our stuff gets. Like, regularly, which is not saying much, but it was cool to be able to see the new stuff, and the highlights are absolutely hilarious. And so I'm trying something a little bit new with these videos. Not that it really matters to anybody, but so you know, there was some highlights in each game that were just either hilarious or a funny moment or like big swing or whatever. And so I'm going to start out the video with like the crazy thing, but just a little snippet of the crazy thing to like suck you in. And then we'll explain the deck, and then you can see the games. But like you'll see it if you check out the one that we posted. So the first one up is Even Shaman, because we really wanted to play that deck because we like that deck and it got new cards, and Sheep just hit Legend with it, and Blue Train loves that deck. And so but we played against Dane as one of the first games, and it was just absolutely like hilarity ensued, and it was so funny. It was like
very highlight reel worthy.
One of the most memorable games of the day. It was cool because we got to play against other streamers. We got to play against some devs, I think, and we got to play against a couple of grandmasters, one of whom stomped us quite thoroughly. And the funny thing is that we were using the Golden Celebration card back, and they were not.
They were not.
They were using the classic card back.
Right?
Yeah.
The real flex.
I wonder if that thought went through their mind. Like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's funny. That's funny. So yeah, we had a blast there, and I am very appreciative to Alkali Lake and the Hearthstone community managers who helped make this happen, gave us some art assets, and provided us a bunch of codes to give away. By the way, we're giving away one tonight, and we still have another one to give away via Discord. So super cool. I didn't realize as well what they had told us was that that they were not giving out very many mega bundle codes, and we got several of them to give out to everybody in addition to some standard ones, which is amazing. So the generosity was super cool, and we're giving them out to you guys. So very excited to be able to do that, and grateful to kind of get this peek behind the scenes and play with the new stuff and all of that. I'm like, it's a little bit surreal.
Yeah, if you would have told me 5 years ago that, hey, yeah, one day you're going to be on this podcast and you're going to get invited by Hearthstone to play the expansion ahead of time 2 weeks before it comes out, and everyone can watch you. I'm like, yeah, right.
Nah.
That won't happen. That won't happen. And you're going to play against the other streamers and against the devs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're pulling Hydra's tail.
You don't want to do that. Hydra will eat you.
Bad idea.
What? Yeah, you know what? I haven't heard it in a while. What does the Hydra List say? That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I mean, it doesn't even actually sound like that. That's just what I'm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's
I'll get a Hydra List sound drop.
Wait. We should probably find one. Yeah. Okay. So the goal ahead of time was to try to have at least one deck lined up with each class, and we didn't end up playing all of them. And also, one thing I forgot to mention, the other restriction that we were given was that they really wanted to showcase the new cards. And so for Wild in particular, each deck had to have 6 new cards. So it was 1 legendary and then 5 other, any cards. There could be duplicates were fine, but at least 1 legendary and 5 other cards. For standard, they had to have 10 new cards in each deck. There was no requirement that any be a legendary, but 10 new cards. So
you could put 10 legendaries.
Yeah, you could. And so that, I think, tweaked the deck building a little bit, where normally when we make a new deck in Wild, it's like, maybe 2 or 3 cards, I don't know. But like that doesn't really fit the spirit of wanting to showcase the new cards. And I'm glad we did, frankly. The Blue Train, I think we were talking about this a little bit, where it's like cards that we maybe didn't think were going to be good turned out to be like surprisingly really good. The Secret Mage was a perfect example of that. Orion, as it turns out, is like bananas good. And so
even more so when we misplay against it.
Oh my gosh. So that was funny because
and how
So we're sitting here trying to think like, we're facing off against a secret mage and we hadn't played it yet, right? And so it was like, oh, we haven't seen Orion. What does this do? And we were playing against, was it Rami?
Yeah.
Right? Who's a grandmaster who just like decimated us with this deck, and Orion was the MVP by far. And so after that, it was like, oh, we should play this deck. And
I think he emoted us when we misplayed.
oh my gosh. Well, and
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty funny. It was I'll dig up the highlight reel. So my goal is to just try to share all of these different decks that we played on YouTube so that people can check them out. There's some fun stuff. So we had a Demon Hunter list that we stole from Otters, and we didn't end up playing it. An Aggro Demon Hunter. A Druid list, lovingly called NHL's Big Scams Druid, which was amazing. And so
Yeah, that was probably my favorite, truthfully.
Schmoopy, don't give you Secret Mage Hopium. The deck is gnarly. Okay, that is the next one I think that I'll do the highlight reel on. So if you missed it, it was good, and the new cards are good. Like especially they're really good.
Orion and then the Informant were both.
Is that
incredible.
the one that says your next secret costs 0?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It costs 2 to play it, and then that discount progresses across turns. So you could play that on 2, and you don't even have a secret in your hand, and it doesn't matter because you can just play the secret next turn. It's fine.
Yeah, and so it carries over. So I'm just going to share my screen here and let's try to crop this down so you guys can see. Sorry for the audio listeners, you're just going to have to like check out the show notes and check out the document, but we'll go over here. So here's this Druid list. This is, I think, Sheep, you were saying it was so fun that it got you playing Cthulhu Druid. But so this is Hadronox Druid. And okay, we got a bunch of like chuff for it after last week's show because we were sitting here goofing around trying to figure out how locations worked, and we hadn't watched the video yet. So we got to learn how locations worked firsthand, which was really cool. So this big Druid is like your normal Druid package, right? So it's got Biology Project, Aquatic Form, Moonlit Guidance. Of course, it's got the Vargoth,
Oaken Summons.
Yeah. Injure Marauder, like it's got a Poison Seeds, whatever.
And of course the Twig Sphere.
Yes.
Combo and Guff.
Yeah, Twig Sphere is always going to be a thing in Wild until they ever get nerfed, which probably won't happen. And so if you play Twig and then you play the Sphere, it breaks the Twig and you get 10 mana. So that's the thing. But at the top end of this deck is the brand new cards. So we're running 2 copies of Nightshade Bud, which is the 8 mana one that says you either play a spell from your deck or you summon a minion from your deck. It's got
you get to discover it too.
Yeah, so it's a copy, which as it turns out is awesome to get extra copies of like Cecily and Hadronox and Scrapyard Colossus.
Yeah.
So we got to play the new legendary Cecily of the Fae Court, which was awesome. It was very cool. We got to play the new location Hedge Maze, so 3 mana. It triggers the Death Rattle. And then there's the new spell. It was called Natural Causes, which is 2 mana, deal 2, summon a 2/2 tree ant. And what was really cool, we had 2 copies of Witching Hour, and we ended up pulling them out of the deck to put in 2 copies of the
Ferocious Hell.
Ferocious Hell, the one that,
which seems crazy, but
well, we were looking
turned out it was better that way.
We needed some armor, we needed some draw, and as it turned out, it worked really well.
Because the only armor gain was the Oaken Summons, right? Originally?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because we cut branching paths to fit the new cards. And so, I think this deck was tweaked a little bit in order to fit the new cards, but like I really liked it. So the Hedge Maze is rad. And I think with Hedge Maze, you don't really need the Witching Hour, as it turned out, because you can play it whenever. So here's what we learned about the locations, right? You play them whenever. In order to use one, like you click on it and like just drag it over to the minion that you want to use it on, and then it works. And then in between turns, like it's like
The door just kind of like shuts.
Yeah, it's like a wardrobe or something. Like the door closes, and then it's like every other turn, and so the next turn it's like half open, and then the turn you can play it again, it's all the way open now. It's cute, but it illustrates.
I mean, it gives you a visual sort of on what's going on. Doing that, so I think that's kind of neat. Instead of trying to figure out, oh, can I use it this turn? Well, you can just see, it's not all the way open yet.
Yes, it was really cool because we could use it with. It felt versatile. Like you play it whenever. Like it takes up a spot on your board, but we weren't playing a lot of minions anyways. But like you could use it on Cecily to discount, like draw a card and discount it by 8, which is like holy cow. You could use it on Hadronox to like bring back all your giant Death Rattle Taunt stuff. You could use it on Scrapyard Colossus to make yourself a giant, 7/7 with Taunt. Like it worked really well. Was better than I thought it was going to be. I really liked it actually. So this deck is probably one of the ones that I'm looking forward to playing the most. Although there was a handful, but this one was really cool. And I don't know. I mean, when I hit Standard Legend, what was it? I think 2 months ago with like Big Druid before all those nerfs came through, and like I don't know. It's just a fun archetype. We've been wanting Hadronox to be good for like years and years and years.
Yeah, right. It's never been that great. Hey, in casual, it's awesome.
I think that this is legitimately competitive, and frankly is a little bit scary because like the deck just felt like really solid. I don't even think that I would change anything. I like the swap of Witching Hour for Ferocious Howl, but like deck feels good.
Yeah, other than that, I'd probably take out the natural causes for branching paths, but that's it.
Yeah, I will say I like the natural cause a little bit for it's just early game removal, like because there's no other removal here. Oh
yeah, we don't run Lunar, do we?
It's not. But here's the thing, right? These aren't like fully optimized yet. Yeah, and I think that part of the reason was to include, like, make sure that we follow the deck building restrictions. And
part of it is that yesterday was the first chance that anyone really had to test it outside of dev circles.
the one downside of participating in the event is that like we didn't get to watch other people play in the event, and so I don't know what, and I'm sure there will be some YouTube videos or whatever coming out shortly from other content creators. But we'll talk about what we played. Anyways, this was very fun. I don't know. Any other thoughts on this?
I want to play it again.
I want to play it now.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe we can play a different version of it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Cecily was cool. When I first saw it, it was like, well, why don't you just run Geppetto? Nah, this is cool. And the cards that let you discover copies of things, like, so now you've got multiple things, and Guff still being at 5 mana is ridiculous. I'm still surprised that Guff doesn't cost like 8 or something, and we'd still play it. But this deck was gnarly. Super cool. And Hadronox, it might be on my Goldcraft list.
Oh boy.
Excitement abounds. Can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid Man. Yeah, this is a fun one. Okay. So, all right, we had a couple of hunter builds, right? So there was 2 that we checked out. One was a Reno list, and we played it a little bit, and it was fun, but not as good. And so I don't know that I want to spend a ton of time talking about it, but it was
fun. Nothing to write home about.
It was fun, but it kind of wanted to do the same thing as the other list that we played, but the other one I think was a little better. I mean,
the other one, despite having 40 cards, was more consistent because you could run 2 ofs, not being a Highlander deck. So yeah, agreed.
All right, so I'm just gonna these decks are all we've got a shared Google Doc if anyone wants to look at them. It lists the creators, the deck codes, so you can copy and paste pictures of the decks and what the new cards are. And again, big thank you to Blue Train and to the other like NHL and 6J and everyone else who helped come in up with these deck lists. Very, very, very helpful. Okay, so here's our list here for the Hunter. This was from NHL. It's the Wild Steed Hunter. And so this deck is very similar to what exists right now, like the XL Hunter or whatever that's being played in Standard. In fact, when we looked at this list and did like the convert to wild, like there was only 2 wild cards, but and one of them could probably be swapped out, but it was really good and really fun. And so it's a Renathal deck, so 40 cards. The 2 wild cards are the Dwarven Sharpshooter. It's the 1 mana card that lets your hero power can target a minion, which was useful a couple of times, but I don't know that it's core. It just
Agreed.
That being said, it does run the Mecha Dog, whatever it's called, K9otron.
K9otron.
That will pull a 1 mana minion onto the board if you can dredge it up. And so, I don't know, having 1-drop seems good aside from Trog. What was awesome in this, new cards here. So we had the legendary Arlon, we had the Wild Spirits, Stag Charge, Prince Renathal, Spirit Poacher, Frenzied Fangs, and the location, the Kennels. The Kennels were cool. It was interesting because you can use them on any minion, but if you use them on a beast, it gets rush. So there's an upside to that. I forgot. In fact, one time I think I misplayed because I was like, I don't want to use it on that. That's not a beast. It really doesn't make a huge difference, except it doesn't get rush. My first thoughts on this were that the Wild Spirits cards that are basically like the spirit versions of the animal companions were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. As soon as I saw the dormant keyword, I was like, everybody hates dormant. Dormant sucks. And they were pretty good, actually. And I really liked them. I don't know that we ever actually got to play Aralon, the legendary. Like,
I don't think we did.
I don't think so. But all of the spirit animals were really cool. I saw this meme floating around. It was so fun. I'll have to track it down. It was like a Harry Potter meme, like, Expecto Patronum, and it was the stag, and then it said dormant on it, and then like the thing killed Harry Potter because the stag was dormant. Like, it was so funny.
Though there was another legendary that sort of came in pretty clutch.
Oh my gosh, you'll see it on the. This is definitely like highlight reel worthy, and I don't think was it Blue Train had never seen Wing Commander Eichmann played before.
Oh yeah, it blew Blue Train's mind.
Oh my god,
is how it worked.
So funny
because he was like, "No, don't play that, and then we played it, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
It was so great because it's very similar to the standard list, although some people cut Eichmann, which I think was a mistake. If you're not familiar, right, Eichmann seems underwhelming at first. It's like 9 mana, what?
For like a 5/4, I think.
Yeah, but we like Ike. When Ike goes in, if you kill a minion, it summons a beast from your deck that gets rush, and if that kills a minion, it summons another one, and another one,
another one.
And we went from we should have lost that game, and we top decked Ike, and and then we had this board of Mountain Bears and Swamp King Dread and Hydralodon, and it was insane. It was so great.
And cleared their board. Not only did we flipped it. We 100% flipped it.
It was
tons of big bombs, including big ol' taunts on our side. And they are left with no board. It was great.
We were cackling. It was so funny. And again, the only other wild card was Swamp King Dread, which I actually really liked in that deck. Because they could play anything and Dread will just kill it. It was so great. And this is one of my favorites. I really want to play it. So in the standard version you would use King Crush instead of Swamp King Dread because Crush can go face. But I don't know. Swamp King Dread makes sense in Wild because you want disruption more so probably, especially in a deck like this. It was great. It was just really fun. I loved it. I don't really know what else to say about it. I don't know that we really played the Frenzied Fangs. Maybe we did. I don't know. It's just it summons 2 little bats. Yeah, Floop, could you add both? Yeah, maybe. I don't know what to cut. Like, the list feels very tight, but I'm sure you could tweak something if you want to run both. It was super fun though. I really enjoyed it, and this was one of my favorites yesterday.
Yeah, maybe the Frenzied Fangs, maybe the Doggy Biscuit, maybe the Kennels.
Yeah, any of those I think would probably be fine. Harpoon Gun is absolutely busted, especially with big beasts. Like it took me a while to get the feel of how this deck plays. And my goodness, I just really enjoy it. In fact, I think I'm at rank 2 right now, Diamond 2 in Standard. Like, I might just have to jam this over in Standard until...
The Standard version is what I hit Legend with.
Okay.
While preparing for our Legacy Championship.
Nice.
Which we won, by the way.
What?
I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc, me, Memnarch, Vampire Knight, Hawk, and Saku are the Legacy Champions.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Vampire Nighthawk is like one of the most busted Magic the Gathering cards I've ever seen, by the way.
And so is Memnarch.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I see a pattern emerging. Congrats. That's fantastic.
Hey, thanks.
Wow.
Totally forgot to mention that with all of everything else going on, but yeah.
Yeah, just a casual championship. That's all. No big deal.
Wow. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. And the XL Hunter, fantastic in Standard, and I won me a championship. Just saying.
Oh, it's great. So here's the Secret Mage list that we played. Oops, let me scroll a little bit differently. There we go. It's more board based, and so we were the day before kind of bouncing back and forth between a couple different versions, because it's like, hey, how can you cut Fireball from Secret Mage? But the idea here was to be more board centric. Credit to 6J for the list, and the new cards here were Scuttlebutt Ghoul, Orion, which is the legendary, Chatty Bartender, and Anonymous Informant, all of which I love this. I don't think it's quite optimized. In fact, I think the version that we played against Rami, he was playing like Renathal's Secret Mage, which I actually really like, because I didn't like cutting some of the cards from this list. I'm not saying it's right, but like it worked really well.
Interesting.
The new cards seem great though. So Anonymous Informant is the 2-mana, like 2/3, I think, and what it says is the next secret you play costs 0. And so it's like Cabal Lackey on steroids, because it isn't this turn. It's like just the next one. And so, you just play it. It's great. It was really, really great.
Scuttlebutt was neat too.
Yeah, right? Okay, so Scuttlebutt is the 4-mana. I think it's a 2/5. It says if you have a secret, summon a second copy of this, right? I think that's what it said.
I think that's right too.
And so, like, you want something on board so that you don't die to aggro, especially without like
it's the taunt one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Chatty Bartender, we pulled out the
Flak Mage?
Arcane Flak Mage, I was gonna say the one that does 2 damage AoE, but we pulled it out, and so what Chatty Bartender does, it's 4 mana. At the end of your turn, if you have a secret up, do 2 damage to all enemies.
Including the face.
And it goes
including the face.
It was really good for both board clear and some face damage. The other thing. Okay, so it was Scuttlebutt Ghoul also. So the final new card that we played here was Orion, Mansion Manager, which sounded underwhelming in theory, and then we played against it and got like Omega high rolled, and then we played with it and got to high roll some other people. Orion is nutty. Like, what it says is, and I'm not looking at it here off memory, so someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like, after one of your secrets procs, he gains, +2/+2, and casts a random mage secret.
Yeah,
and so it is different. So if it's like explosive runes that goes off, it doesn't replace it with another runes. but it is another random mage secret, period.
Another one.
Yeah.
Which worked great with duplicate.
Oh my goodness. When so Rami was playing duplicate and had 2 Orions at one point, and it was like it was just game over, right? Oh, the other thing that we weren't supposed to do, right? Some people were doing anyways, but you're not supposed to concede when you're playing in the Theorycraft events because they want content creators to be able to get their highlight reels. Yeah. And so it's like, oh boy, we're in for it now, and we just got smashed. But the card is like, especially if it's guarded behind a taunt, holy moly! Orion was pretty nutty. This will be like an instant craft for me if I don't pack it. The deck was really solid. I'm not. The version is close, you know.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but like made me kind of want to play the 40 card version just because, like, I'd be curious
my fireballs
to
back.
like, yeah, and you know, Flak Mage, like you could just run both.
And you could just hard run duplicate rather than have Orion generate it.
And like we pulled out an ice block, which you know, maybe you want to run one. I don't know. Draw would be an issue. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. The other thing that was missing,
a Luneth.
Oh my gosh!
Talk about draw.
More. I want more.
The other card that got cut, which I always hate cutting. I can't remember the name. Is the one that is the 4/4. If you have a secret, make another copy of it. And I just really like that card. But anyways, the deck is solid. Secret Mage is coming back. I can almost guarantee it. It was really good. So
Ixars will be done.
Hopium. Yeah. You know what? This is a coincidence now that Ixar is the Grand Poobah of Hearthstone these days. So maybe there's something to that.
I want my deck
said, this whole expansion was developed about a year ago. So that was before he was the head of Hearthstone, the CEO of Hearthstone. But he was on the team. So
yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I did like it, you know. Is it gonna be back? Maybe, maybe not. Is it gonna be tier 1? I really don't know. I just really liked it. I will say that. It'll definitely be around in standard, I think, because the new cards are actually good. They're really good. All right, what else do we play? Okay, so we played some Odd Paladin to limited success. Now this was the first deck of the day that we played, and I think we did not win with this deck, but I will say that we got very close. So like the first 3 matches that we played were all against Renathal, Reno, like janky, weird kind of decks.
Got our opponent down to 1 health.
Yeah, we got very close. There's no burst. Like,
I think it needs some burst.
It might need a little, like, you know, last minute some kind of burst, but it was solid. I mean, I've always been a fan of the archetype. This is the only deck that I have on my EU account. EU. That's great. Okay, so the new cards that it was running were Promotion, which is the 1 mana, give a Silverhand Recruit +3/+3, which seemed really good. Steward, the Steward, or whatever it's called, which also was pretty darn good, actually. So he's a 3 mana, I think 3/3. It says next time you summon a Silverhand Recruit, give it +3/+3 and this Death Rattle. It's just cool. Like, it was good. And then we used Muck Plumber, which it's like a beefed up Nerubian Unraveler, right? Where it says your opponents, or does it say all minions cost 2 more or something like that?
Yeah. all minions.
It was great because
which is fine for us because we're using our button, right? Or like muster for battle and stuff like that. So we don't need to play a minion.
No, like our highest cost card is 5, but for Baku, which nobody wants to play. And Baku doesn't count. It's only in this deck because it has to be. But so it was solid. Oh, we played Forensic Duster also, which is the 3 mana. I think it's a 3/4, right? Like a spider tank that is like mini Lotheb. I think that's what it says, right? Is it your?
It says mini Lotheb.
Your opponent's whatever it is costs 1 more next turn.
1 more. Yeah. Opponent's minions cost 1 more, I think. Was that it? Yeah.
It was, yes, I believe so.
Yep.
And so maybe even not like Lotheb, it's like a mini
it's a good tempo card.
Like
really.
Bully, like Boom Pistol Bully, something like that.
It's got a like premium stats or whatever, and then now your opponent can't play a minion of the same caliber.
It was good to that and the other one, Muck Plumber, so that they can't play Reno on 6, right? Is the idea.
Yeah, that came in handy.
Like, the deck was solid, but it kind of felt a little underwhelming. But I don't know. It's odd Paladin. Like the heart of the deck hasn't changed. I still miss running Conviction. Like Conviction was the burst, and without it, the deck is not the same. But I mean, it's good. You play cards, and it's kind of Curvestone. It hasn't changed all that much. The new promotion card, I think, was really good.
And we got to play the new promotion card to a little bit more success. Next deck.
All right, here's the one. This is the like Blue Train's Copium that was one of the most fun decks I think that we played all day and did really well also. So yeah,
this is my other favorite deck that we played.
Trying to line it up just right.
And so it is, of course, Questline Paladin. So the Rise to the Occasion quest.
Repeat that for the people in the back.
Questline Paladin.
What is that card? That's never been played before.
Yeah, I forget.
Rise to the Occasion. So you play 1 mana cards, different 1 mana cards per stage. So 3 different 1 mana cards for the first stage, and that gives you a Light's Justice. 3 different, and you can repeat. If it's like a Hey Loser in round 1, you can play Hey Loser again in round 2, and it counts then. But Hey Loser multiple times in the same phase doesn't add up. Doesn't contribute towards the total. So 3 more 1 mana cards for the second phase. And that gives you the Odd Paladin hero power. Awesome.
That's right.
3 more 1 mana cards. And you get Cariol the Brr. I don't remember what. Cariol the something. And
Cariol the...
And whenever you play Cariol, all of your Silverhand recruits get an additional +2/+2, which includes the ones on board. Every time you push the button, you get 2 3/3 Silverhand recruits instead of 2 1/1s, which is a big ol' upgrade.
Oh yeah,
muster.
Oh yeah. It was this
is so low to the ground. It's insane. Look how many 1-drops there are. It's great.
It was really good. It was really good, and it was really fun. So the new cards, this also runs 2 copies of Promotion, which buffs your Silverhand recruits. 2 copies of Sinful Sous Chef, which is the 1 mana. I think it's a 2/1. When it dies, you get a Silverhand recruit in your hand, which is cool because after you play Cariol, it's now a 3/3. 2 Buffet Biggins, which is one of the new infused cards. And all I remember is that we played it infused every single time because we were proccing so easy with all these 1-drops. I don't even remember what it does anymore. It does something with your Silverhand recruits. It gives your Silverhand recruits Divine Shield, I think. Something like that. Should look it up.
I think it's only the ones that it poops out, but I don't remember. I just remember being a little underwhelmed by the biggin.
It was
all right.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up real quick. It was underwhelming, which is why I don't remember it. It wasn't bad. It was just like
it's what Dude Paladin and Standard is definitely going to be playing. I think I don't know if it makes the cut for us, but it might.
It's neutral, right?
Lad. Yes, sir.
Why don't I see it on here?
Buffet Biggin is Battlecry, summon 2 Silverhand recruits, infuse 3, give them +2 attack and Divine Shield.
Yeah, it was okay.
And it's a 4-mana 2/4.
It's neutral? No, it's gotta be.
It's a paladin.
Yeah,
That's
why I didn't see it.
I thought it was neutral, but I was incorrect.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, but it was super easy to infuse. I'll say that. And the other thing I think when we played it though was always early game. Like if you had played it late game, then you'd get 2 like 5/3s with Divine Shield.
True. That would be a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
So, and then we played also, this had Steward, which was fun. The one change I think that we would make would be to put, so for the memes, right, we put Prince Liam in this deck, which was fun. There's a whole bunch of 1-drops, so like, why not? And we got to play with it a couple of times where it was pretty fun. But what we were thinking about was if we pulled out Prince Liam, you could like drop in Lothraxian so that all your dudes had Divine Shield.
I think that would have been better for sure.
But Prince Liam was fun, and this deck I think legitimately is probably competitive. Like it was good and it was winning games. Like it was fun as well. So
I didn't expect that, to be honest. This is sort of like a pet deck that Blue Train had brought, and it was way better than I expected.
Right? And it was so fast. I mean, we were getting Cariel down on 5 or 6, either way. Like it was 6 maybe.
Pretty consistently though.
Very consistently.
Like we were completing the quest with 1 mana and then playing the Cariel reward with the remaining 5, and it was great. It
was very, very fun. So yeah, big copium here, but looks like it all kind of played out. And yeah, Blue Train says we got her down on 5, 6, 7. Yeah. It was good. This deck is fun. I like it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a new.
It's just good.
I mean, this is one of the most underwhelming quest lines that we had previously seen, and so
especially in Wild,
right? Even like it wasn't even seen playing Standard, and so this comes back. Like this, it brings the deck back. So I really enjoy it. Muster for Battle is still one of the best cards I think ever printed. Doctor 3, right? So
yeah, buddy.
Okay.
I think this is the only quest line that I don't have in gold, and that may eventually change. It may not. It may not.
It's funny. Okay.
But it might.
All right. So we had Inner Fire Priest. It kind of felt so to me. That being said, I would just want to put out the caveat that like this is not. I suck at the deck.
And we got beat by it.
Yeah, and we did some beating with it as well. Pelagos seems busted. The rest of the deck, like this, I think we were victim here on this one to the deck building restrictions, where like really what you want to do is take the deck as it currently exists and just add Pelagos, and the rest of the deck stays the same. Because Pelagos is gnarly. Like we Pelagos, like you drop Pelagos and all of a sudden it was an 8/8, and like it was very good. I think had talked about feeling like we were missing the Deathlord in here.
Yeah.
I mean, the deck does what it does. You drop big dudes and see if your opponent can kill them, and if they do, then you drop more, and finally they'll get to a point where they can't remove one, and then you OTK them. Is kind of what happens. We added Partner in Crime, which is it was a 4-mana something that was kind of underwhelming also, but it says it made a copy of itself. I'm looking.
Yeah, so it makes a copy of itself at the end of the turn, and so if you buff it, then instead of just making the vanilla one from the battle cry at the get go, you have your buffed version, and you have 2 of those instead.
And it's pretty cool.
You know what? It looks like to me it reminds me of that card in Mech Paladin, Replicatotron, right?
Thank you for constructing me.
Uh-huh. Yeah. it kind of does the same thing, right? So we, you build the dude and make it very buff, and then there's 2 of them. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. I don't think I will play it. It's just not really my jam. But the legendary for sure, Pelagos, is like, ugh. And it has such a big butt that it's really hard to kill. Is it a 1/6 or something like that? Yeah, 3 mana 1/6. After you cast a spell on a friendly minion, set its attack and health to the higher of the 2. What I will say, the one thing that surprised me here was that it has nothing to do, like, you have to really read the text carefully. It says after you cast a spell on a friendly minion, set its attack and health to the higher of the 2. It doesn't say a buff spell, like, so
yeah.
So
you could use renew.
yeah, so that's what it was like.
Tricky.
And so we used like renew on a Pelagos, and all of a sudden it's a 6/6. Like, it doesn't have to buff it to do that. It's any spell, which really was like, oh boy, good card. Boon of the Ascended. I don't even know if we got around to playing it. It's the buff card. I mean, it might be good, might be not. I don't know.
Give a minion +2 health, summon a Chiron with its stats and taunt.
It might be. I don't know. I don't know that we got around to it.
I don't know that we ever drew it.
We did not. And we also played this deck when we were like 5+ hours in. And so, Cathedral of Atonement, the location felt a little bit underwhelming for me. It says give a minion +2/+1 and draw a card. The draw is great. It would be busted, I think, if it was give a minion +1/+2. Like, because in this deck, we really want the health more than anything else. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think where I'll probably end up using Cathedral more is in Shadow Priest. Because the location is not a spell, so it doesn't count for or against the shadow aspect for Benedictus. So
yeah,
that one being a little bit more zoo-y and being a little bit more caring about the buff on board so that it can go face will probably be more impactful there. It'll probably be good in the Inner Fire Priest without the bad cards. But
so in standard, right, you take your like Naga, like Wig Priest or whatever they call it, Serpent Wig, and you drop in Pelagos and Boon and like maybe Partner in Crime, and it maybe gets a little bit scary.
Oh, I just threw up in my mouth a bit.
Yeah. So I mean, because Wig Priest or whatever, Serpent Wig Priest or whatever you want to call it, like, I mean, the deck is doing okay. This makes it pretty good, I think. I'm glad that you can only run 1 copy of Pelagos.
Yes.
Big agree.
All right. Okay, so we have a rogue deck here that we did not play because it was super APM intensive. You build a giant dagger, essentially, is what you do with it. It runs Necrolord Draka and just a whole bunch of miracle cards. So you play, make a gigantic dagger. So it looks fun, and I really want to play it. But the idea with this and also the warrior decks were that anything that was super APM intensive was like at the very bottom of our list because it's hard to co-pilot with 4 people. And so we just didn't get around to it. And that's fine. It looks cool. I'll definitely be interested in checking it out. The play pattern looks very similar to like Pillager Rogue. The idea being like just play a whole bunch of stuff in one turn and make a giant dagger. It's,
cool.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like big weapons.
Okay. This is a deck right here though. This was very fun.
Yeah.
And it was in fact probably one of the most fun that we played all day. So credit to Blue Train for the deck list here. And I think we were ahead of time talking about like, is the deck going to be good? Is it not going to be good? I don't know. It was like Sheep just hit legend with this deck, with like a bad version of this deck, no offense, like last month, right? And so
month before last, but yeah.
Okay. But it has to, like, if we're playing it now, it has to be semi-viable, and the new cards that it got are really good. And so the new cards here, Carving Chisel is the weapon, 2 mana weapon. It says that whenever your hero attacks, summon a random basic totem with 3 charge. It's running what is it called? Gigan Totem, which is a 10 mana 8/8. That says cost 1 less for each totem you've summoned this game. It's actually pretty easy to play because number one, it's even Shaman, right? So that your hero power costs 1, but also if you're using the Chisel, that's summoning totems, and frankly, like your Amalgam of the Deep counts as a totem. Like there's just a lot of totem
The
stuff.
Anchored Totem, the Flame Tongue Totem, the Totem Golem.
Totem. Yeah, this was this is cool, right? The Stone Right, we never even played it. It was crazy because it was in our deck and it just we didn't draw it.
Nope.
Battle Cry, for the rest of the game, your totems have +2 attack, which is just like nutso, right? Anytime there's like a persistent effect, it's like Lothraxion. So for the rest of your game, like it doesn't matter if it dies or silence, whatever. Like it's just that is it.
+2 attack is a lot on totems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. And so this deck was good, right? And the one, and then we have like the meme card
highlight.
Yeah, you gotta just watch it, right? This is the game. This is why I wanted to post this video first, because so the one card that probably could be swapped out, but that was so fun, was Theotar, the Mad Duke. 4 mana, 4/4, I think, and you look at your opponent's hand and steal one of the cards. Like you look at 3 and steal 1, and you swap with them, right? And so we gave them. We're playing against Dane. Gave Dane a carving chisel and stole his scabs. And it gets better. Like I don't want to spoil it. It was so funny. It was just it was
incredible.
Like, let me say that Theotar was played 3 times that game, and you just have to watch it because it was so like
it was priceless.
We were cackling, and it was like we also got to see the new Rogue Secret, which was pretty funny. And I don't even know what to say. This deck was great. I think it was good regardless of. Like Theotar was kind of there for the memes, but worked out in ridiculously
really
in
well.
our favor.
Twice.
Splitting Axe, I think, has great potential here because, especially like, oh my gosh, with like a Gigan Totem or really anything, like you've got a pretty gnarly board state now, and Splitting Totem is just going to duplicate it all. Like this deck is back. It has to be. I mean, I'm predicting, but like it seems very viable to me now.
Yeah, and if you have an Anchored Totem on board and then you Splitting Axe, then anything that you've played after that Anchor Totem, because you'll get a new Anchor Totem, anything that's a 1-drop after that will get double buffed. So the best way to do it is Anchor Totem, Hero Power, other random 1-drop, Splitting Axe, because then you get the second Anchor Totem, then the second 1-drop, then it's great.
I agree. It has no draw. It has no draw, and that's a little bit of a bummer. I don't know. There's still time to refine it. It's good. I mean, that's why we want Amalgam of the Deep, though, right? So at least you can discover something.
Yeah, you're generating rather than drawing from your deck.
I don't know. The deck was like solid though, and very fun. I'm not quite sure what else to say about it. Run Octosari, get out of here.
I feel like also we were playing with the deck building restrictions that we were given as well. So I feel like if we were to refine it, maybe we could.
I still like
have better draw.
Carving Chisel was great. Gigan Totem was great. Stone Right is great. Like Theotar is hilarious and worked quite well, but like don't know that it actually belongs in the deck. You could okay, Shmoopy, you said Ice Fishing Amalgam package. Yeah. That is not a bad segue though to look at our next deck, because we played Evolve Shaman also. And we had actually pretty good success with it, but it's like Omega High Roll. So we were running Ice Fishing like Flurgle Tox in that deck because
Why not?
Well, you kind of need to not die. Also, to your opponent's like board state, I think, because you have to kind of, I don't know. It's a bunch of like weird minions and that really rely on getting evolved. The new cards were Convincing Disguise, which is the 1 mana with Infuse. Transform a friendly minion into one that costs 2 more. Infuse 4. Transform all friendly minions instead. Let's see, Muck Pools is the location. It says transform a friendly minion into one that costs 1 more, so it's an evolve but targeted. Baroness Vosh is the new card, which was it was okay. 4 mana 3/6 Naga. If this would transform into a minion, summon that minion instead. So if you've got a board, like if you try to evolve her, you summon it instead of evolving it, which is interesting. And then Crud Caretaker, 4 mana 1/1 Battlecry, summon a 3/5 Elemental with Taunt. The interesting piece, the way that this was built, and again, the deck credits to NHL, it's called Hand Evolve Shaman, and the thought is that you have a bunch of stuff in your hand, right? So on the top end, Goldshire Knoll, which is 10 cost, which is a really nice evolve target, but you can really only play it for a low amount of mana if your hand is full. Same with Mogu Flesh Shaper, and then it runs Corridor Creeper, which 7 mana, but once things die on board, it becomes much cheaper.
So in a perfect world, you're doing something like schooling on 1, schooling on 2, and dropping Knoll. Yeah.
Schooling is what makes those cards work, which we got to do, and it really helped. Bogspire Knuckles.
Dread Corsair, that works good.
Yeah, Bogspire costing 5 is kind of a bummer, but like I understand why it costs 5. It's just so you can Bogspire and the Dread Corsair is free. Desert Hare, of course, is in this. It runs Ice Fishing, Firemaster, Flurgle, and Toxfin because you kind of need a board clear to get back. Derailed Coaster worked pretty well also, actually.
Yes.
So, I don't know. The deck felt very, like, high roll to me. I've never been a giant fan of Evolve Shaman, partially just because the things that you can evolve into, like Hyreek, Grammy Wings, you can, you can low roll pretty hard. The deck is fun. I will say that. Yeah. I will not be attempting to ladder with it. It's just too unstable for me.
Nay, you're telling me that an Evolve Shaman deck is high roll?
Oh gosh. By the way, Primordial Wave, people are going to lose their minds over this card.
Yes.
Because it so transform enemy minions into ones that cost 1 less and friendly minions into ones that cost 1 more.
Yeah, that's just rude.
People are going to lose their minds over this card.
And not only do yours get worse, but mine get better.
Right? Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
3 mana.
You know what? It's funny. I don't think this list is not even running it, but we played against it for sure. And I don't know. We'll have some videos with this deck so you can check it out. I mean, it was fun, and always like you talk about high roll moments, like, yeah, it's missing Thrall, unfortunately. Not that Thrall's any good, but anyways, here we go. This was a deck.
That's fun.
Okay, so we had an OTK Warrior. We did not end up playing it because it was like an ETC OTK Warrior, and it just there's a lot of, it's super combo centric and really hard to co-pilot, but it looks fun if anyone wants to try it. I think the skill cap is relatively high on this, but it's doable.
I played the OTK ETC one. Oh my gosh, it was about a year ago on ladder, and I was playing it super, super slowly because I didn't really know what I was doing. And I was roping every single turn, and I felt horrible. And I got the dreaded friend request after because I won. And I'm like, oh gosh, like this person is going to ream me out. And they're like, are you Hydra from Born to Be Wild? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh man, it was an honor to lose to you. And I'm like, oh my God, no. Like, I played that so horribly, it's ridiculous. I'm surprised they're not yelling at me right now.
Oh my gosh. That's great.
It was bad.
That must have been a sigh of relief whenever you weren't just being called names and whatnot.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I've got it coming now.
That's funny. I remember.
Not only did I win, but I took every second of every turn.
Oh my gosh.
Oh jeez.
I remember when we co-opted this deck with Hazer, and like he just made it look so easy. Okay, now do this. Now do this. All right, there you go. You have the combo. Like, I don't see it. Can you explain?
Yeah.
The VOD is up on YouTube somewhere if you want to see it. But yeah, this is a little big brain for me, unfortunately. You talking about big brain though? The opposite of big brain is Omega High Roll, which I'm reluctant to even share this deck because I don't want to play against it. But here you go. This was this combo is disgusting, and so
glorious and terrible.
Absolutely. So this is the Tome Tampering. Again, deck credit to NHL for this, but so Tome Tampering is the new Warlock card, and it was a little bit tricky to know what it did until we played it, and what it does is indeed glorious and terrible. So what Tome Tampering says, 3 mana spell, shuffle 1-cost copies of your cards in your hand into your deck, and then discard your hand. So what you want to do is like draw until you've got a handful of stuff, and then you play this. It basically, you discard your whole hand, but like copies of it all get shuffled back into your deck, except they all cost 1. Which means 1 mana Mutinous, 1 mana Nerubian Unraveler, 1 mana Kel'Thas, 1 mana Gigafin, 1 mana Neptulon, 1 mana Onyxia, 1 mana Scrapyard Colossus. There was one game that we got down to 1 health, and we won because we Omega High rolled. And like, we just kept putting up big taunts, and like they just couldn't do anything. And I do like the new shadow spell, Suffocating Shadows. So it says when you play or discard this, destroy a random enemy minion. And so you could play it like it's random, but when you discard your whole hand, you discard 2 of these, and so it not only like then you nuke 2 of their cards on top of everything else. It's just they should have called it insult to injury. That's what they should have called it. This was good.
Best case scenario, you've got Malchezaar's Imp, you've got the Tome, you've got 2 of the Suffocating Shadows, and a whole lot of big dudes, and 2 Hands of Gul'dan. So my
goodness.
You play Malchezaar's Imp, you play Tome, you deal with two of their threats, and then you draw 6 cards. Hopefully, 6 of the cards that you draw are big bombs that now only cost 1. Should be perfect for the Paladin quest too.
The definitely the high roll is Malchezaar's Imp into Tome Tampering, because then you just draw everything back. Oh my gosh. It's basically Darkest Hour Warlock without Bloodbloom. And it, again, this is an early version that is not like refined, and it was really good. Like, and I'm sure that I was probably piloting it suboptimally, and it was really good.
Kind of like how I explained right there, where you wanted to have Malchezaar's Imp on deck and the Hands of Gul'dan in your hand. You don't want those in your hand if you actually have the Malchezaar's Imp on board. My bad there.
Yeah, I don't know. I was honestly kind of tempted to even scrap like the Hand of Gul'dan because it costs 6. You want to just hard mulligan for the Tome Tampering.
If anything, so the Malchezaar's Imp, maybe that's what you cut. I think that you're really running both the Malchezaar's Imp and the Hand of Gul'dan for redundancy more than anything else. So that you're able to either put the Imp on board and play the Tome and draw a hand, or just play the Tome with Hands of Gul'dan in your hand and then you draw. So the redundancy makes it more consistent which I think is what you're going for there.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be doing both simultaneously, otherwise you're going to overdraw.
Yeah, you're going to overdraw a lot.
We saw lots of overdrawing yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And how?
By the way, the new card, the new Kel'Thas Sin Strider here, we got to use it. I think we just used it once, but it was like, oh yeah, I'll play that plus this 1 mana thing. Oh, and I'll just get a free raid boss Onyxia.
It was great.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I already hate it. I felt bad for the opponent because it was like,
greasy.
Oh, yeah, it's like you got to take a shower after you play it.
Okay, bubbles.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. So we finished playing all the decks that we wanted to play and had, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes left over. And so we revisited some of the decks that we liked the best, which really were like that XL Hunter and the Secret Mage. And I don't remember. I don't think we revisited the Druid, but the Druid was like one of the most memorable of the day for me just because of how enjoyable it was. All in all, it was super fun. The 6 hours went by like that. It was so fast.
It really did.
Right? I mean, by hour 5, I think I was like ready to take a nap. We don't normally go that long, and it's hard because something more casual. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna go get up and use the restroom and be back. Oh, I'm gonna go get some food, whatever it is. And like 6 hours it's like almost a work day, I mean, not quite, but like that was a long time. It was super fun, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. So yeah, thank you to the Hearthstone folks and Alkali for the opportunity. It was very fun and enjoyable. And yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts, friends, on our experience here, or any of the decks or anything?
I can't wait till next time.
Right?
I just want to play with the new cards even more.
Yeah, we got all to play with the nice, cool, shiny toys, and then we got to wait 2 weeks to do it again.
The other thing is,
that's
right?
That's the only bummer.
Yeah. Swamp King Dread is at 9/9. I think that's correct. I'll scroll back, but the only sad thing is that when you get these accounts, it's like a fully unlocked account, and you build the decks, they're all in gold, which is awesome. And oops, I scrolled past it. Here it is. 7 mana 9/9. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And so we're gonna start opening these cards, and they're probably not gonna be in gold, but that's okay. That's first world problems right there. It was very fun, and it was very enjoyable. There was stuff also that we wanted to play and just didn't get around to. In fact, a big shout out to the folks in our Discord that have submitted a bunch of lists. And so there will be a lot to play on day 1. Like, don't just rely on these decks that we provided. If you go in our Discord, there's a bunch of other decks that are ready to go if you don't want to build your own thing. Lots of stuff to try out. So now we wait. The question is, what do we do in the meantime? And so I don't know. I'm gonna try to hit standard legend because I'm awfully close, and I've been like hovering right around Diamond 2. Maybe we get there, maybe we don't.
I believe in you.
Oh, thanks. I finally got Slay the Spire, and
I noticed you were playing that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I sort of regret waiting so long to pick it up, and Blue Train recommended getting it for iOS, so I have it on the iPad as well as Steam, and it's been great. Like, the graphics are not, when I first looked at it, I was like, but it's so fun.
Do you have separate accounts that way, since you're playing on different devices?
They're different. Yeah, they're different. They don't like cross over like Hearthstone does. But it's fine. I mean, it's a roguelike, so you die all the time anyways. It doesn't really matter. It's a time killer, but the game is super fun. And then the other thing that just came out is Stray on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. It's way darker than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Although it was hilarious. Like, I got it, and I loaded it up, and I wanted to play it with my wife, and so we started playing with it. The cat, it was sitting in her lap at the time, and then the cat's like watching the TV very intently because there's all these kitty cats, right? And and then the cat is like, I posted all the pictures in the Discord. The cat went from being on her lap to like the end of the couch to like up the cat tree, up on the TV, which is on our fireplace, and like, looking around the TV, like watching all the cats, which is so funny. The game got a little dark, but it's really good. It's very quirky and fun. And I think
it's way better than I thought it was going to be. I played that while I was just like horizontal on the couch. Actually ended up beating it already.
Oh,
like
nice. It's pretty short. Like I think I'm very close to the end. I'm not.
It has a 10 out of 10 on Steam.
It's incredible. It's really, really good.
I enjoy it,
but it is really short.
It's short. If you need something to do for a week, that'll keep you busy. So
yeah, I finished it like sub 8 hours and got like all of the memories, and was COVID out of my mind, just kind of like exploring as a cat. Like it was fun.
It's very good. The mechanics, like it's very simple actually, and my camera keeps like blinking out. I don't know what's going on. It's like, what is it, like Hearthstone, right? Deceptively simple, surprisingly fun. I don't know, whatever it said. But the game is enjoyable. So that's kind of what I'll be doing, and I don't know, maybe some more Theorycraft. I don't know, we'll see. I'm anxious now to play. Like that's my one complaint this time. I think it was like, now we gotta wait 2 weeks. Like, that's too long. So be on the lookout, friends, for our YouTube content, because we'll be putting up videos of all these different decks to show you some highlight games. Each video probably have 2 or 3 matches and some highlight stuff. But if you want to see, how these play ahead of time, whether or not, it's something that you want to play, if you like them, then you can see. Yeah.
Waiting is the hardest part.
Right. Oh, you don't want to see this. Hey, this is what our show notes look like for anybody that's interested. Oh no, didn't mean to spoil that. But
anyway. Did you show the listener challenge?
Yeah, but that's fine. We're gonna get to it next anyway. So
yeah, well, I may as well just jump right into that then.
Hey,
the weekly listener challenge from last week was actually quite fitting because Sheep was playing Even Shaman recently, did a legend climb with it, and then we played Even Shaman yesterday, which had the whole totem synergy, and it was really fun. So kind of coincidental, we made the challenge best Even Shaman support card. And tell me if I'm saying this name wrong, but is it Rawgun?
I always read Raygun.
I say Raygun too, but I was looking at it today and there's no Y.
There's no.
But either Rawgun or Raygun came up with Totem of the Dead. It's an epic shaman card, 8 mana, 2/7, with the text, costs 1 less for each friendly totem that died this game. At the end of your turn, resurrect a friendly totem and give it taunt.
With some flavor text here too.
Sometimes on full moon nights, when the forest is silent besides the howling of the wind, you can almost hear the names of the dead calling to be brought back. Quote from Wrath of Air Totem.
Rip.
No, it's saying that the Wrath of Air Totem wants to be brought back.
That's correct.
Because that was a spell damage totem.
Well, yeah.
How funny.
We want to bring it back.
That's great.
Yeah. We do.
There were a lot of really good submissions. So number one, congratulations to Raygun, because this is cool. So you get 2 packs on us, and some, your card will be immortalized in the Hall of Fame on the Born to Build website. So congrats on that. Very cool. It was hard to pick, and there were some other ones that were really good. I want to share them just because
they were great.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of good ones. The other ones that I liked, so here's one that was really fun. Marosticon is a 2-mana 2/2 Murloc. Battlecry, transform your totems into random Murlocs and give them rush. It's just so. I want to know where that artwork came from, frankly, because it's so cute and so funny. It's a Murloc wearing King Rosticon's hat. I don't know where that came from, and it's really cute. This was submitted by Laughing Frog. So that just, it's great. I like it. I
Great honorable mention. Absolutely.
Yeah. And one other that I really enjoyed reminded me of some existing cards. It's a 2-for here because one creates the other. So the first part is a legendary minion. Here it is, the Magron Earthbinder. And again, this is submitted by Bone Masher. Let's shrink this down a tiny bit. So here's part 1. It says it's a 4-mana 4/4 legendary. Battlecry, summon a totem of protection. And so looking at the totem of protection here, it is a 2-mana 0/3. Here it is. Now it's on the screen. 2-mana 0/3 with stealth. Whenever your hero would take damage, this loses 1 health instead. So it's like a Bolf, right? Oh, Sheep, did I lose you?
I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Bulwark of Azeroth? Or...
No.
Yeah.
No.
Bolf also, yeah.
Bolf? Is it Bolf? Ram Shield or whatever? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
This takes damage instead. And so, anyways, yeah, no, this was really fun. I like the idea of it, and because it has stealth, makes it difficult to kill. Really fun idea. So, hello.
Ahoy.
We lost you for a minute. Now you're back. There we go. Yeah, this was the other one that I really liked. This is very fun, and it's so hard sometimes to choose. And congratulations to everyone, and thank you to everyone for participating. We've noticed, especially with the custom cards, that we get more participation than we ever have before, and so it makes us want to continue doing these because we really like the interaction. And there was some really good conversation between a bunch of people in the Discord over these as well. It's just really fun. So, yeah.
And Nate, you had a really cool idea for this upcoming weekly challenge that I thought was pretty neat. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. Okay. So here's my thought for weekly challenge for this week is to build another custom thing, something a little bit differently this time. So I want to build a custom hero, and so you would have to create the custom hero and the hero power. That's it. Like not a whole custom set, not card backs and new cards and all that, but like a new hero.
And not hero card, right? Just class hero, or like a new class, or...
Well, I mean, I wanted to have a new hero power, and so you could make it doesn't necessarily matter if it's a new class or if you take one of the existing classes, but it's got to change the hero power. Kind of like, Dr. Boom, Mad Genius, or Brucon, or Hagatha, or one of the ones that like swaps out the hero power, like the classic hero power, for something different, or one of the Death Knights or whatever.
Yeah, so one of the hero cards, it sounds like.
Yeah.
More than like a new class.
I'm sorry, a hero card is really what I'm looking for, but I want to see the hero. Yeah. I want to see the hero power as well. That being said, like if you want to go off the rails, like make something new and crazy, knock yourself out, make a neutral one. I don't care.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But here's what I want, because we're in this new Castlevania set, or Castle Nathria set rather. I want one that's vampire themed.
Dracula.
Yeah. I want one that's vampire themed. And I'm curious to see how we can come up with something like that is not copying the hero power of Blood Reaver Gul'dan, because it's so on point theme wise, like the lifesteal, like I'm gonna suck your blood, right? Let's take some health from over here and give it back to me. You could include something like that if you want to swap out hero powers, like your Brucon or Dr. Boom, where it like rotates. Maybe that's a cool one, but like maybe it transforms something into a bat. Like we were talking last week about Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and it's like, transform into a wolf, transform into a bat, transform into mist. you could do whatever. So that's what I would like to see anyways. I would like to see a vampire hero card with a custom hero power, whether it's, one or multiple, however you want to do it. I don't really care, but that would be super cool. I'm all about the vampires this week. Castle Nathria has set that tone for us.
To see your hero card.
You could have one that's like, what's her name? Kristen Bell, and she throws sparkles at you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, hero card. Yeah, so we'll see what y'all come up with. I'll do something fun, but it's got to be vampire themed. And that reminds me, by the way, if anybody watches like epic rap battles, there's a great one between Vlad Dracula and or Vlad the Impaler and Count Dracula or whatever. It's really funny. It's
I've not watched those in forever, but yeah, my wife and I used to always watch every time there was a new one.
A lot of them are really
good.
A lot of them are pretty bad, but like that one was so just the lines were very spot on. Like it was well written. They were pretty funny. So, right. Anyways, that's it. That's it for me. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, just post it in our weekly challenges channel.
Oh yeah,
in the Discord, like always.
Yeah. So to participate, put it in our Discord channel. Join the Discord. Link to the Discord if you're interested is on our website. There's like if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's all these different links where you can find us and stuff. Discord should be there. You can join. It's all free. Post the screenshots or the artwork or whatever in our Discord under the Weekly Challenges channel. The winner will be announced next week on the show. We'll receive 2 Hearthstone packs for us and be immortalized in the Hall of Fame on the Born to Be Wild website. So we'll take whatever you submitted and it'll be up on our website for other people to enjoy as well. All right.
Nice. I like.
All right. That just about wraps it up for
everybody. Should stay tuned to our YouTube videos that are going to be coming out. We already got one.
Now,
whoa,
unrelated
whoa.
advice with Nate Wolf.
Hydra List.
Oh,
if you were a vampire and you could shapeshift, what would you shapeshift into?
I would turn into Hearthstone Brew.
Of all the things.
Wouldn't that be cool?
You'd be like,
boys, look who it is.
Yeah. Like, hold on. If I just try really, really hard, I think I could. Oh! I did it! Wow! Look who it is!
Oh my
It
goodness.
worked! I gotta switch back. Whoa, that was weird.
Intense. All right.
And how do you feel?
Feel pretty good. Having that gut was a little strange.
I saw something very, very nice, by the way, up on Twitter. I'm trying to like crop it over here, but this is phenomenal artwork by Rue. So Sheep, if you could transform into a vampire, what would you shapeshift into?
Well, let's see. Obviously, I'm already a sheep, so that's kind of out because that just comes with the territory. So I think maybe I would transform into a house cat because that way I could go on wacky misadventures in a post-apocalyptic wasteland like in Stray, but I could also hang out, cuddle with my kitties or go on misadventures. I don't know. I'm fading a bit myself too. Being a kitty cat.
Hey, wiser words have never been spoken, and you heard that on
Born to Be Wild.
I mean, kitty cat would be great. You could sleep all day.
Job's done.
Yeah.
right. Oh my goodness.
I'm so jealous of my cat all the time. Just like lays on her little cat tree thing in the sun, just chilling and then pissing me off when I get home. I'm surprised she actually didn't meow the whole show. She meowed all day yesterday for like 6 hours.
It's pretty funny.
I got to say hi to Rory.
It was good. Good
She
times.
just wanted her time in the sun.
Yeah. Who are you talking to, Dad? Especially for so long.
She was on. She was on quite a bit. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
It was glorious.